Hello, my wonderful people. Welcome back to Eke React. I bring you now with the latest trending topic in Nigeria. I like as Nigerians they fight for Mr. Dele Farotimi. As you can see, many corrupt people in this country are involved in this case. I really like the movement of Maicon and Sowore plus others as they raise legal defense fund for Mr. Dele Farotimi. As it is, they are trying their possible best to release him from detention on 20th, but if care is not taken, he might even spend Christmas and New Year in prison. Make I allow you guys to watch this video, but remember to subscribe to this channel and also drop your own opinion on the comment section.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes. So, Sowore, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for coming. This is quite an impressive number of Nigerians who are here today to remind the authorities in Nigeria that, and also Dele, that he's not alone. We were expecting Tope Timokun, who was the last lawyer of his, to see him in detention, to come in here today and discuss some of the personal conversations they had regarding this case. But since he's not here, I will just go straight to the points and where we are with regards to this case. You are all aware that it's not just the Judiciary and Chief Afe Babalola and the aides that did this. It was actually a collusion between these three very powerful organizations or institutions and individuals. This Chief Afe Babalola and a bunch of lawyers in his law firm, the Nigeria Police Inspector General, and that's Kayode Egbetokun, was the one who mobilized policemen from Ekiti, from the former SARS unit known as RRS now in most formations across Nigeria, to go after Dele. And they were in Lagos for almost a week, sharing intelligence of his location. And Dele was aware of this and actually did a press conference. Then they abducted him, rough-handled his staff, stole some of their phones, and then drove him for about 8 hours from Lagos to Ado-Ekiti. We tracked him down there, and then the next day they took him to a magistrate court, who Tope was the first lawyer, that's Temokun, to appear before that magistrate. And typically, for those of you who are carpenters like myself, not lawyers, when you appear before a magistrate, it's a court that has summary jurisdiction on a number of issues. One is that since it's a bailable offense, that the magistrate should have granted a bail right there after an oral application was made. Not because it is Dele, but it's because Dele is also a lawyer who, if he was kissing up to the Nigerian system, would have become a senior advocate of Nigeria by now. Dele has been practicing law for 25 years in Nigeria, but he abandoned the system a few years ago, of course, partly because of the reasons that he wrote his book. So the magistrate had been set up, the police prosecution, they all said, no, you can't apply orally for bail. Go and put in your bail application. A bail application was put in, and I think it was supposed to be heard on December 10th. Then we decided that there would be a global protest against this. But because they were aware that this could snowball out of control, they took him to court on December 9th to a federal high court, charged with new sets of offenses. This time, they charged him with cybercrime offenses, which also being a crime that could lead to a jail term of more than 3 years, wasn't bailable. But interestingly, the federal high court, upon realizing that there may be problem because of the action that we had declared, granted Dele bail, even though the bail conditions were outrageous, as you all are aware now. That's going to provide a 50 million surety bond, also to provide somebody with a landed property in Ado-Ekiti, and he's supposed to deposit his passport. But yet, it wasn't a problem. So the next day, before of course, this could happen, there had been a meeting between Peter Obi and Afe Babalola, And that's completely made us, in our movement, which is Take It Back movement, to decide that since there was a meeting and this appeared to be something they were trying to resolve amongst themselves, we did step down action that ought to have taken place, because that was the expectation of the whole country, that since there has been a meeting, what could we decide, consider a reproach, or like some kind of reconciliation, since they know themselves. There was no point engaging in protest. So I'm explaining that as to the reason why this protest was stepped down. But we still, regardless, sent a delegation of our members to court, and a lot of lawyers appeared, including media. When they arrived court, Shiba Babalola has mobilized thugs down to the court, coordinated by plainclothes policemen, and surrounded the court, threatened and even harassed some of our people, including lawyers that came to represent Dele in that. That was what transpired on December 10th. But the magistrate then, upon opposition by the police prosecutor, decided that they will not grant bail on that day because he wants to now rule on the bail. So he adjourned till 20th of December. That's this Friday. So now our suspicion is that if there's no pressure, if there's no fresh pressure, and not just pressure, that if we are not clear to these people that Nigerians are going to revolt over this matter, they will not still grant Dele bail on Friday. And that means Dele will not be able to be with his family for Christmas. And that means that these guys would have gotten away with the injustices that they were perpetrating in this case, which I know very well how they operate, is to ensure that the punishment that doesn't even exist, because according to those who have done the research, there is no crime known as criminal libel in Ekiti law books, Ekiti state law books, but yet they're carrying out that illegality. You will find out that either the magistrate will not appear in court, or if he appears, he will deny him bail and continue to perpetually hold Dele in detention, which I describe as ransom. And we must, as a matter of urgency, figure out how to resist this and ensure that these people don't get away with this crime. This is my own submission as regards what has happened so far. A lot of people have been visiting Dele. We send somebody to see him in detention every other day. He's fine. He's in high spirit. His wife was there yesterday to see him. I spoke to her, briefly, and they're doing. He says Dele is doing well in there, but that's not the issue. Where we are now is that all of us have become Dele Farotimi, and as I have stated recently, the Nigerian judiciary has become our new NSAS in what they are doing in the judiciary. And Nigerians must let them know, just like we did to the Nigerian police during NSAS, that we are not going to give up until justice is done. And I want to also advise that this should not end here, because it's possible that Dele, out of fear, they might release Dele on Friday. I'm not saying they will do it, but it's possible. And we should not allow what happens to Nigerians and the short memories we have about egregious crimes committed against our humanity to take over again. We must pursue what we are doing. That's why Dr. Malcolm decided that we should call everybody here on this coalition to ensure that we continue to pursue justice, not just for Dele, but to ensure that justice is delivered to the Nigerian justice system appropriately, and in the measure that would break the back of corruption and all the shenanigans that is going on out there in the justice system. So that's my submission, Malcolm. Thank you very much, everyone, once again, for coming.
Thank you very much, Omoyele Sowore, for providing us with the backstory to where we are today, and also providing us with a sense for exactly where Dele spirits are. I'm sure most people believed that Dele would be in high spirits, but just confirming, getting the confirmation from you that you spoke with his wife, and she also confirmed that he continues to be in very high spirits is encouraging. Without wasting further time, I want to bring up to speak Dr. Chidi Nwayawu. Dr. Chidi is one of the leaders of the Take It Back movement. They've been very much involved in the struggle so far. And I want him to provide a sense for some of the efforts that are taking place in the diaspora. So what have people done so far? And, understanding what has been done so far, I think will also provide us with a good sense for what else can be done. So Dr. Chidi, please, if you are on, kindly, Rachel, if you can kindly put him off mute so that he can join us and provide us with an update.
I've given him permissions to mute, just waiting to hear from him now.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you so much, Malcolm. Thank you, everybody, for this opportunity. I've long waited for this, and I'm just the most. I'm the happiest person. I know there would have been more people on this call, but for what the government has done in Nigeria, where they're using this fear tactics to prevent people from, speaking up. And so a lot of people find it difficult to sign in. If anything has to do with them putting down their names, they are so scared because the government has been pushing this propaganda that they are monitoring you. They are doing that. By the way, let me pause and thank every member of the DSS that is present in our midst, every member of the police, army, whatever you are. We know you're here. We recognize you. And just so you know, like I normally say, touch your neighbor and say, hey, neighbor, how did they know that I'm here? Yes, we know. And but let me go straight to what I want to talk about today. You see, we are tired, though. We are tired of being in a country. Do you understand where they've put us to? That you are in Nigeria, you are a citizen of the country called Nigeria, and you are a slave in your country. It has gotten so bad that the people that think they own the country, like Omoyele Sowore just said right now, the members of Afe Babalola and some of the lawyers and the police and all this, like they will sit down, they will hold a meeting and decide who they want to be, who they want the person to be. And they actually, you see, Dele Farotimi knew about this. But even though he knew about it, it wasn't going to stop them. They are so emboldened now that they can actually go ahead and carry out their plan and send whoever they want to go and pick up whoever they want and put the person wherever they want, and nothing can be done about it. You see, for me, for a lot of people in my shoe, for the regular carpenter, truck pusher, regular people like me, it's not about Dele Farotimi. It's about getting back a country that has been taken from me. That I am in I can't even talk. When I want to talk, I have to look left, right, where? And that it is no longer possible for me to tell somebody that, hey, if you try any nonsense, we shall see in court. Why? Because the court has already been bought over. The court used to be like the last hope of the common man. Now the judiciary is absolutely nonsense. Look at where we are. Look at the people that are leading us. Look at the leadership of the country. Look at the president. How did they get there? Because the judiciary literally disappointed. The judiciary sabotaged us in Nigeria, and that's where we find ourselves. We cannot contribute anything concerning our finances. We cannot contribute anything. We cannot contribute any. We don't have a say about our hospitals. People are dying. We don't have a say about our security. We don't have a say about nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you want to tell me it's a country? And then when somebody gets up to speak on our behalf, they silence that person and they ask us, do your worst. My question is, are we going to respond to this challenge? Because they threw a challenge at our feet. They say, do your worst. If you know that the country belongs to you, if you know that you have power, if you know that you can do it, we have done our own. And it's not just that we've done our own, we have plans to do more. So you cannot tell me that we're just going to fold our hands and not do anything. That is why I'm so happy for what is going on. Because you see, now we own the country. It belongs to us. I live in Canada here, but I feel like a stranger here. Nigeria belongs, that we own her. The people that think they own it, no, they are the people in government. We put them there. They are our servants. They are supposed to be serving us, but we are slaves in our country. I don't know about you. If this did to Dele Farotimi and so many other people, a few days ago, a nurse was taken from a location and moved to Abuja. And the next thing I'm hearing about this cyber crime, just like you have EFCC, there's a new one now that they can detain you in the cyber crimes, whatever. Do you understand? Today is Farotimi, tomorrow you don't know who. And if they do one, all the people that have been speaking on our behalf, they've been touching them one after the other. We didn't do anything. So they upgraded. They do another person. They watch. We don't do anything. Now they did this man now, and we don't do something. I don't know how to speak English, so I don't know the logistics. I don't know the legal things. But what I know is that enough is enough. Here in Canada, I know I can't be protesting in Nigeria, but at least I know where I can take my concerns to. And that's why we went to the Amnesty International. And now we've reported them, we submitted a paper there. You know, one thing that they've done in Nigeria is they've decided to be taking people for granted. In Igbo, they have a proverb. No one able one kita. You see, that death that is going to kill a dog, it makes it not to even perceive, naturally in our local environment. When dog can no longer smell shit, say that dog don't go now. So I think what's happening to Nigeria, and especially the judiciary, is that they're no longer reasoning. That death that is coming to catch them now is making them not to think, not to see. The same way it caught them during NSAS, I think it's about to happen again. They are thinking that we don't have any power. They are thinking we cannot do anything, but we have started. So thank you so much for the guys who started all this. I am committed to giving my all, to mobilizing anywhere I am. Thanks to the guys in Nigeria who are mobilizing, who will be protesting. We are all going to do this and we'll succeed. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Dr. Chidi, for those extremely rousing words. So Tokwe Temokun is with us. Tokwe is one of the lawyers that is on the Dele Farotimi defense team. So without wasting any further time, Rachel, can you please bring Tokwe to the floor so that he can give us an update on what is going on with Dele, tell us his current state of mind, and Tokwe, if you can also share with us what the next steps are. I know there's a court case on Friday. If you can just provide us with an update of where things are. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Who are actually doing this part. people so not be contributing matters of commodity.
Sorry, Tope, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, we can't hear you clearly. So maybe can you turn off your camera? And maybe it's a bandwidth issue. So turn off your camera and let's see whether we can hear your voice more clearly.
Although I think he also joined with another device.
Okay.
So I will also, if that other device,
So you want to unmute the other device for Tope?
it doesn't have audio.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay.
Are you
So,
hearing me?
so go on. It's not very clear, but if you can just please take it slowly so that hopefully we'll be able to hear you that way. Oh, okay. Sorry, Tope, we can't hear you. So Tope, can you, if you turn off your camera, try speaking again. If you turn off the camera on this device you're on, and then just speak again. Let's see if that would be better. So Tope, do you want to try again?
I think he's dropped off and may try to dial back in.
Okay. All right. So while we're waiting for Tope, I know that a lot more people have joined us. So what I'll just do while we're waiting for Tope to rejoin is I'll just very quickly again go over the reason why we're here and some of the things that we're trying to do. So again, all of us are here for one reason. We're here because we do not support injustice. We're here because we support Dele Farotimi's righteous fight against injustice and against corruption in the Nigerian judicial system. And one of the things we wanted to make sure did not happen in this case was that our anger as Nigerians and our displeasure with the system would not just fritter away in our individual corners and circles, that we needed to find a way and a platform to ensure a coalition, a true coalition, to ensure that all of us can actually bring all those different voices together and work together to make sure that the plans that the system has for Dele does not come to bear. And there are three things we want to do with this coalition. The first one is to make sure that Dele can defend himself. So already there are cases in 5 different courts. It means there are going to be different sets of lawyers, sometimes depending on the timing and the scheduling of cases. And again, one of the things the system does is it would not be surprising to us if over the next few weeks, there are more cases in more courts. So how does Dele defend himself? Because any court he doesn't appear in, any court where there are no lawyers, is going to be a court where he loses the case. And at the end of the day, you know, these lawyers, yes, there are many of them, like Tope and others, that are doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. But if this is going to be a sustained fight, then we must fight beyond just the goodness of our hearts. And so part of what we're trying to do is to make sure we raise a legal defense fund for Dele, a fund that will ensure that it doesn't matter where the cases are set up, it doesn't matter how many cases there are, it doesn't matter what the complexity of those cases are, that we provide the means and the resources to fight those cases to a conclusion. What they are hoping for was that it would only be Dele alone and a few people who support him, who are lawyers, that will be fighting this cause. They've made a big mistake. Nigerians are going to support this cause to the end. We will resource it. We will fund it. There are already lawyers that are providing their services pro bono. But whatever we need to make sure that this case gets fought, we will do. So the first thing is a legal defense fund. The second one is just a coordination of global support. So Dr. Chidi came on earlier. The TIB movement has already made some overtures. They've reached out. They've started pressurizing governments and institutions and organizations in North America. Some similar efforts are taking place here in the US. Other efforts are taking place in the UK. And there's obviously a lot of efforts that are taking place on the ground in Nigeria. So what we want to do is to make sure that we are coordinating across the world and that all of the work that we're doing is in alignment so that we can take all of these different energies and channel it towards one thing. And if there are complementary things we can do, then we'll do them. But having a single voice, a single platform that is able to bring everybody together, we think is going to be absolutely important. The third one is a whistleblowers initiative. And one of the points that I made earlier was if this case was anywhere else but in Nigeria, Dele would have the rights to subpoena and depose all of the people that he has accused. He would be able to bring Supreme Court justices and put them on the hot seat and have them answer tough questions. He will be able to subpoena bank records. He will be able to subpoena, the administrative goings-ons in the courts, because one of the very clear things he has, one of the allegations, the things he made very clear in the book, was that there were certain judgments that were rewritten. But we know that even if Dele was to subpoena all these people, they would simply refuse to turn up. How would he defend himself? But one of the things we know is that corruption doesn't happen in a vacuum. There's a clerk that took the corrupt proceeds somewhere. There is a court registrar that understands what administrative mishandlings were done. There's a bank teller that knows what money transfers were made. And so what we want to do with the Whistleblowers Initiative is to make sure that every single person that is an insider to this corruption can come out and securely provide the information that is needed by Dele to exonerate himself. But beyond that, the information that is needed by Nigerians to actually begin to see the enormity and the depravity of the corruption that exists in our country. So what this Whistleblowers Initiative will do is two things. One, will create a very secure platform, a digital platform where such information can be provided. And then secondly, we will incentivize these whistleblowers. We will reward the whistleblowers who bring information that is germane to the case and germane to the defense. So those are the three critical things. And now that Tokwe is back in, I'll stop and we'll bring Tokwe back. And hopefully this time we will be able to hear him clearly. So Tokwe, please, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, how do you now?
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
Am I clear now? Right? Hello, sorry, is it?
Go on. You're clearer now. You're much clearer than before.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I don't know whether I'm far from I appreciate the efforts of communities across based on this initiative, and I think the point I picked from the last submission made on the issue of isolation. It's very easy to isolate an activist, but just for the purpose of destroying him, and make him feel as if destroying is a destructive one. But now that we have come up with team, to ensure that just to comrade me, can go to society, and justice because if you look at the strategy of after the arraignment, after the was the declaration that we protest at various points across Nigeria for the purpose of getting bail for Dele Farotimi. But after the visit of Mr. Peter Obi and the information that got into town that they have started begging, there was a very radical tone of tide against us, against the movement. You know, it was like a graveyard silence on our part. Why these people mobilized, they retooled their forces and they took over the space. Taking over the space by filing cases here and there. Their allies. They begin to say why Dele Farotimi. Where we begin, all of us have been demoralized. And God let it from me to know his state of mind, whether he has given his mandate. Those people that have read if you have his mandate, they might be saying his wrong way. If they have the mandate, that means to be upgraded him. He makes it very clear on what we are doing, on what is expected.
Sir, please, could I ask the barrister, if you can hear me, please turn off your camera. Please turn off your camera so we can have audio only. Let's try that, please, and we'll see if it will be clearer. Thank you so much.
I'm trying to stop the video. Oh God, it's gone.
That's great. That's great. The video is off. Please continue.
So can I? Are you hearing me now?
Very clearly, thank you.
Are you okay? So they took over the space, but after the visit, and we got that mandate from him that is clearly against any form of apology. He's clearly poised at coming out to defend himself, and that is why this new trend of discussions and interrogations are taking place. And the only plea I will make is that having started on this part again, having begin to reinterrogate this process, is for us not to give a gap. I have seen the clearly earmarked programs for this movement. The whistleblower aspect is very, 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 very important. That area is very, 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 very important. I have discussed with some people, and I've made this clear categorically. Has made these allegations, and people have said it's very difficult to prove. There are some basic things that are possible if only we have a discreet way of bringing people on board. What is lacking is courage. There are 90% of people that have information that even Mr. Dele Farotimi did not even have while making those allegations that will be of help to this struggle. So when we now begin this process of whistleblower, you will see that a lot of things will come up, which is an initiative I also appreciate. And in the course of mobilizing against the court, I will also still say that to leave a gap in this process is what is actually giving opportunity for the opponents to have a room to fight back. If we don't give a gap, having started this process, if we do not leave a gap, every single day, one day, one program, no matter what, if it is just a release, if it is just media interaction, if it is just interview, if it is just discussion, once we don't give a gap, and whatever we do, we take it out there to discuss it, with the world before the court appearance. I am sure there will not be room for them to be able to even reactivate their energy and carry on with this kind of attack. And if by the grace of struggle, Dr. Comrade Farotimi is out of prison, I am sure we'll have a lighter work to do, because he's not out now, and processes of court they are being served on him in prison. When he comes out, hopefully, whatever assistance, whatever information assistance he has, whatever intelligence gathering he has, and if it is just 10% of what people thought he knew, that's able to bring out. I am very sure it's going to help us a lot, and that the coordination should continue. If the program of event continue, I think mobilization to court is also very, very important. With all this strategy, I am sure that we have the day. Thank you so much.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Barrister Tokwe, and I want to thank you and the legal team for all the work that you guys are doing. And what we can assure you of is that what we've started today, we're not going to relent. A lot of people are taking their time and their efforts. Again, we want to thank everybody from the diaspora, and especially folks that are in Nigeria, that are, by participating in this call, making it clear that we're putting our mouths and our bodies and our actions into this fight. So this is a fight for the long run. This is a fight for justice. This is a fight that is going to be fought in the courts. It's going to be fought in the press. It's going to be fought on the ground. But whatever it takes, those of us that are on this call made it clear that we're in this for the long haul. So here's what we would please ask everybody to do before this call ends. We need you to fill out this survey. What the survey does is it allows us to have your details, your email addresses, your phone number, so we can contact you. We can let you know what's happening. You may happen to be in Ekiti. There might be a court case in Port Harcourt. This will allow us to reach you, to provide you with information. It will allow us to actually gather together and group people according to where they're based and help us with a coordinating effort. So that's why we need those details. When you open it up, it will also ask you what ways, the different ways in which you want to support this cause. Is it with donations? Is it in kind? Is it with helping to build awareness? Is it with helping to drive advocacy on social media? So please, it is absolutely crucial that you please kindly sign into that survey. And then the other one is we need you to join there's a WhatsApp community that has been formed. Please join. Again, it would help us with coordination. That is where we would be. And I've just put in the chat. So please, everybody on the call right now, kindly go into the chat, kindly fill in the survey, kindly join the WhatsApp community, and the additional instructions about what will happen and when they will happen will be communicated there. And so please, I leave you with this call to kindly fill the survey and please join the WhatsApp community. Thank you all for participating in today's conversation. There will be many more conversations. This will, we actually already have at least one that is planned potentially for either Friday, which is the day of the court case in Ekiti, or on Sunday. So we will be communicating, but all further communications will be coming through the WhatsApp groups, and then please fill the survey so that we can reach out to you as well. Thank you very much, and that is the end of our conversations for today. Stay blessed, and let's keep up the fight.